Here we go. Page 184. However, this whole camera thing is getting us off track. We were supposed to have a quiz on it.
No, did we have it?
We had that.
Huh?
So we all volunteered to go to Dr. House's, so we all would have gone and not had to have taken the quiz.
It's too late. That's true. Well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll. You're ready for it though, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. For one.
It depends what it's on.
This is meant to off you, right?
We just have to keep you motivated to study. If you're studying this stuff, we don't have to have quizzes, you know. All right. See, we're battling the sinful nature that we all have.
Well, how about you just have each one of us do one part to the me verse? So he could do me,
Cyrus.
C,
Shut
me,
up.
C to C. Then we have one part.
I was going to have Pastor Joe give you the quiz tonight. So
I'll be happy to give it.
if we have a quiz, we'll have Pastor Joe.
I'll type.
All right, page 184. Vocabulary. Honestamy. I put these in alphabetical order, and that's cool and everything. But that is a compound from histame. Right across the column, you can see histame. So that being a compound is what added on to histame?
On it.
Ana. Okay, so ana means up or go up or something like that, and, or even again. So if you see gnosko, to know, anagnosko is to read.
Oh.
Well, now, why would anagnosko mean to read?
You know what?
Well, what else can ana mean besides up?
Ever,
Yeah.
Huh?
ever,
Again?
or again.
So to know again. So apparently it was known at one point because it got written, and if you read it, you know it again. So that's so you can't really predict necessarily what a word is going to mean by the literal workings, and that would be hard to predict anyway. But all right, deca.
Deca.
10.
That's
Duad.
why you said decagon instead of like decade or
Decade, right?
yeah.
Decagon. Duodeci is 2. Yeah. Dodeca.
Dodeca.
One time we played a game with a dodecahedron. It was really quite weird. It was a 12-sided die. So I guess a dodecagon is a 12-sided flat thing.
Yeah, two.
And a dodecahedron is a 12-sided
3D.
3D thing.
Yeah.
You knew this?
Yeah, from geometry. I was a math major before I did this.
Oh, you were a math major?
Well, sort of. I didn't really get far enough to have a major, but if I did, it would have been math.
Oh, you're awesome. That's cool. See, there you go then. All right, well, here it is. Epigenosko.
Epigenosko.
I recognize, I know, understand, perceive. Epi is often put onto verbs to intensify them. So this intensifies gnosko to something like I recognize or I know intensely. Sometimes the intensity is underplayed in the context. Understand, perceive. So hepta.
Hepta.
7. I bet you didn't know what a heptagon was until just now, did you? Well, you did. Histame.
Histame.
I stand firm, appear, cause to stand, set, establish, various kind of slippery meanings there. Penta.
Penta.
5. Pentagon, Pentateuch. So we're familiar with that. Tesseres, tessera.
Tesseres.
4. Q termination. Trastria. 2 termination again. 3. And fame. I say.
How many says do we have?
Oh gosh, we have a couple of them.
Yeah, it's
Lego to speak.
Lego.
Fame. Answer. All right. Well, principal parts of histame. You can see them. Histame. Steso. Estesa. Esteca. Estamai. Estathema. Now, this is a little bit challenging. It kind of goes by our rules, but it's hard to see that it does. We have the iota reduplication in the present. You can see it there, right? it doesn't, it's not cystame though, which I think it should be, it's just histame. Instead of getting a sigma on the front of it, it gets a rough breathing mark. Staso has no reduplication, that's future. Estasa or estane has an augment without reduplication, and that is what we would expect in the aorist. But hesteka and hestamai in the perfect, it's a little tough to see that that is reduplication. Estathane is augmented. Now, there's a little trick you can use with histame. The rough breathing mark tells you when it's being reduplicated. See? So if you have a histame or a hesteka or a hestamai, then it's being reduplicated, so you tell it is. It's a little confusing because we're used to a kappa first aorist with some of the new verb, but we don't have a kappa first aorist here. We either have a first aorist, or I believe what is called a root aorist with estane, kind of like Gnosco has a root aorist form. Okay, so you can see those forms of histame, you can see the conjugation of histame. It is just a matter of looking over those things really, things that you're used to. In paragraph 218, the verb fame, you can see is roughly similar to Lego, and the imperfect third singular, third line, almost halfway down the line, F-A, he, she said, used from time to time, so you might make note of that. And then the second aorist of Bino and Gnosco. Bino is usually used with some form of compound preposition on it, like anabino, catabino. But you can see he's giving you just the bino endings. So the second aorist, ebane, ebase, ebe. Kind of the on, s, amen, on kind of endings, aren't they? This is kind of a, I don't believe he's calling this a root aorist. But what you have is, instead of the coupling vowel that we would expect for on, s, on, dropping the coupling vowel, and that ending being stuck right to the root of the word, right to the stem. Right? And Gnosco has the same thing, egnon, egnos, egno, so you're having on, s, but without the coupling vowel hooked to the gamma, nu, omega stem in the second aorist. Does that make sense to you? So that's what's happening. Numbers, you can see some paradigms of a couple of numbers, 3 and 4. Cardinal numbers from 5 to 199 are not declined. Please, Tamara, tell us what a cardinal number is. Well, cardinal number is in contrast to an ordinal number. An ordinal number tells you the order, right? So an ordinal number would be order. First, second, third, fourth, right? So a cardinal number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's a grammar thing we'll call it, so you shouldn't know that. All right, the article before men and de. Articles can stand by themselves as substantives, and that happens before men and de from time to time. So you can see in the example we have here, the teacher dismissed the disciples and they went away into the city. And they is just boy. You see that there in that example? So that's pretty easy. That's a pretty easy chapter, huh? Just some stuff to be aware of, nothing real hard to understand. So just do the odd ones of the New Testament. And the first one on English to Greek. And we'll call it good. Any questions on that chapter? You know how almost done you are with this?
Pretty close.
Couple of, keep going. Well, we're gonna cover all three of these chapters today, but we decided we would do one a week, right? And, go through our translation. So, yeah, you know, it's about over with.
Are you gonna want us to translate chapter
Now we're gonna get
half
to
of 4, or how you gonna, all of 4, or?
Seems like we ought to do all 4, don't you think?
I don't think so.
Huh?
How long is it?
Yeah, we have to, because we only have 2 more times together, so we get to do all of 4 the next time and all of 5 the next time.
It's shorter than yours.
Yeah, so, you know, you guys are so good though, it probably doesn't take you very long to do that, does it? How long did it take you to translate chapter 3?
Took me about
3 days.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours?
Working like without any distractions.
That's pretty good. I remember back in the days when we were trying to translate German, we were doing good if we got a page a day done. It was brutal. All right, cool. Chapter 3 of 1 John then, in your Bible. You have a piece of paper that will donate to the cause. You got one right there? Okay, just pass it by and put everybody's name on it. If we're not going to have a quiz, we better get a name for folks here.
I'm feeling good.
All right, Adam, you want to start us off there?
Sure.
And now verse 1. And no singing.
Well, behold, what kind of love the Father has given to us, so that children of God we might be called, and we are.
All right, Hannah? Hannah?
So that,
So that?
is that
In order that? So that's the 2 options we.
Yeah.
We don't find any other.
is there a better way to translate that?
I'm used to an order that.
Okay.
So that.
We have both options, I think.
Yeah.
I guess both options are good. Yeah. So we might be called children of God.
And we are.
Okay.
Because of this, the world is not knowing us, because it did not know him.
All right, very good. How would you parse the dead though, King?
Would be perfect, active, indicative. Third person singular.
Yep, from.
From dinomi,
Right.
to give.
Okay, very nice. I like it. All right, Cyrus, you want to go next?
Beloved, now children of God we are, and not yet. I always get confused on how to translate the T, the question of the T. Anyway,
Me too.
revealed I don't know how to.
Yeah, it has not yet been revealed what we will be.
What if we just,
So it's just kind of,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you expect a relative pronoun, or it's just kind of using, it's almost a little bit rhetorical, like it's anticipating people are asking, what will we be? I think. So we do not yet know what we will be.
Okay. We know that if I think it's he might reveal,
Passive.
he might have been
Aorist.
revealed.
We know that if he is revealed.
He is
Now, yeah.
revealed. Okay. Like to him we will be, or we are being.
Well, yeah, okay, you wouldn't say to him because if you have a dative of comparison, we will be like him.
Okay. Have we had that word before?
What?
Hoi moioi?
No.
Or hamon? Because I couldn't.
Have we not had homoios?
I think it's in one of our next lessons, I think.
Huh. I thought we talked about homogenized milk.
We talked about,
It's in
how-
lesson
how about
32.
this, yeah.
Oh, lesson 32? Okay. We don't have it. All right, we should be like him. No homo yet, okay.
Yeah. We did that. That's right.
Okay.
Because we see him just as he is.
When?
Huh?
When?
Esting.
No, hoti upsamata. How do you parse upsamata?
Is it from orao?
Yep.
So. Would it be future?
Yep.
So we will see.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we will see.
Him just as he is.
Okay. That's good. Let's see. How would you parse? How do you parse up in the first line of chapter, or verse 2? Sorry. How would you parse end of the line? Ephone rote.
I think I would probably categorize it as aorist or passive.
All right, you're on a roll.
Aorist passive indicative.
Ooh, it's getting hot.
And it would be third person singular.
Oh man, he's close. I mean, he's right. He's almost done.
And what's the next thing? Where's it from?
Vocabulary, form, and meaning.
Vocabulary form. I don't remember.
I'll read it right off the page right there.
It's somewhere. Oh yeah. There's over there. So is it from Phaneroo?
Well, close. Phanerao.
We don't know that one
Hmm?
yet. We don't know that one
Well, you're now, because it's in
yet. Yeah, we do
the
now.
Yeah, it's an Omicron contract for Phanerao. It has to be because.
Oh, there it is.
We'll learn it next time.
Oh, next time you get that?
32. That's
Phanerao.
32 also.
Cool. Well, the good thing is, you don't get the stuff in First John before you get it in the chapter. By the time you get to the chapter, you already know.
Great.
That's a cool thing. All right, so
That means
it's easier to learn vocabulary in context anyway. To what?
it is.
made known or to be made known in the past.
Or I put reveal.
Be revealed, right?
Yeah.
There's a thing called passive vocabulary. If you saw the word all by itself on the wall written someplace, you wouldn't know what it was. But if you get it in the context, you would know what it is.
Is it possible to take this as manifested?
Yep.
Uh,
But what it means is when he comes physically.
how do we know that?
Because when we see him, we don't know what we're going to be like. But when we see him, we know that we're going to be like him. So
Yeah, how do we know that that's talking about eschatological things when that's not anywhere else in the context?
well, it is. It is somewhere else in the context.
Yeah.
Beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet appeared what we shall be.
Right.
So now we're children of God. What will we be? Interestingly, this is from John, who saw Jesus in his resurrected form. So what will we be? I think we know remarkably little about our resurrected state. Paul talks about it in 1 Corinthians 15, and illustrates it with animals and fish flesh and stuff like that. I think it's probably difficult to describe what that's going to be like. And even John, having seen Jesus in the flesh after the resurrection, finds it difficult, I think, to describe that. But what will we be? Well, we know that if he appears or is made manifest, we will be like him.
Could this not be like a Galatians 2:20 type of thing?
I don't think it is. I think you might say, well, isn't it interesting that when Jesus is present, we become more like him. So you could draw a principle from that based on the teaching of other scripture and say when Jesus is present spiritually, we become more like him spiritually. But when Jesus is present physically, then we're going to be like him physically. And I think if we keep going, we're going to see more of that in the context. So when he is revealed, and phanerao, how's that used? That seems consistent with the second coming kind of thing, it seems to me. So it's interesting, it says if he is revealed. We might like to translate that when he is revealed. We will be like him because we shall see, and I think that's key, we're going to see him just as he is. We can't see him now, but we are going to see him. And verse 3, Robert?
Okay. Can I do since it's really short?
Well, yeah, sure. If you let us talk about him in between.
Okay. I just thought it's not very.
Well, you'll get another chance.
Okay, well then I'll just do.
All right.
I don't want to be greedy. And all who have this hope from him, from him.
It's kind of tough to get that into English, but epi, on him. The idea, I think, is this hope resting on him, based on him, founded on him, that kind of idea.
Okay. Is that a future, like, will it be made holy?
No, no. It's a present active negative third singular. Cognizo.
Is that?
It is holy.
And idzo endings in Greek are often, usually, maybe not always, I hate to say always, but idzo endings in Greek are causative. So baptizo, to cause someone to be dipped, to dip somebody, to immerse somebody. Hagnizo, to cause to be holy. So he causes to be holy himself, or he purifies himself.
Okay. So then that would be just as we are caused to be made holy in him.
Wait a minute now. Okay, do the whole thing again.
Okay.
From the top.
Okay, and all who have this hope upon him, or what was it?
Oh,
In,
upon him is a good literal translation.
Okay.
Based in resting on him might be
okay.
a good bookstore selling translation. Resting on him.
Resting on him. are being caused to become holy, or are being caused to be holy.
Huh?
Well, causes himself to be holy, if you want to be literal, purifies himself is a good translation.
Okay, purifies itself, just as, let's see. He himself is holy?
You could do that, literally, it's just a ekanos, what's that? It's odd, it's awkward in English, just as ekanos, that one
That one.
is holy or pure. You can see the cognate noun form from, of the verb, the cognate of the verb, hagnizo and hagnos, hagiography, right, holy writing. All right, and here's another indication in the context, hope, that we're talking about a future thing. We have this future hope. And hope looks forward, doesn't it? So everyone having this hope, resting on him, purifies himself just as he is purified. I mean, this is a great lesson here to teach or preach, and I don't even need to develop it for you because it just develops itself, right? It's one thing to say we look forward to being in heaven with Jesus and being like Jesus and enjoying our resurrection life. If that's good enough for us for an eternity, if we're excited about an eternity of being like Jesus, and we truly are, then why would not we take the opportunity that we have before us to purify ourselves and be like Jesus, purify ourselves because he is pure. So to be uninterested in purity today betrays that we are not to the place where we are very excited about our eternal destiny. You see what I mean? Our eternal destiny is to be like Christ. Now, I don't think people are going to be bored in heaven, but if God didn't change us sometimes from where we are now, we'd be bored in heaven. Because right now we're bored with purity, right? We're not excited about purity. So you've got an eternity of this ahead of you. Learn to be excited about it now and make use of it now. That's where you're going. That's where you're headed. So that's kind of an interesting thing to develop. All right, Grant, why don't you tackle verse 4 for us?
Okay. Everyone doing sin also is doing iniquity, and sin is iniquity.
All right. Where did you get the translation iniquity?
There.
All right. What would it be more literally? Anomion. Namos is what?
No law.
Law.
Against the law.
Yeah, so
So sin is doing against
iniquity.
law.
I'm not really sure what iniquity is. Iniquity.
Inequity.
Hmm?
Taking away your
Inequity.
Like not equal with the law.
Yeah, I can't say it's a bad translation, but literally, a sin is lawlessness, going against the law.
Against the sin is against the law.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it's necessarily referring to a particular law, like the Mosaic law or something like that. I think it's just the idea of law breaking and sin kind of go together. All right, very good. Here we have Tamara, verse 5.
And you are knowing that one is revealed, or has been revealed, or was revealed, in order that sin, and I don't know that word.
Well, you're supposed to know the hard ones, so I don't have to know them. All right, let's work on it. In order that sin, okay, what mood do you think it's going to be in light of Hannah?
Impaired? No, indicative. Subjunctive.
Subjunctive, there you go. Okay, Hannah. Okay, Hannah is going to be looking for, in order that Hannah, you're looking for the word might after that. In order that might. Okay, in order that the sins might, in order that he might do something to the sins. Right? take a guess at what this might be from.
1 John.
It's from 1 John.
Chapter 3, verse 1. Like what word am I missing?
With vocabulary from it.
I don't know, I don't.
Okay, put a present active indicative first singular ending on it.
Or,
Close. Now you have a little bit different stem in this principal part.
is it drop, is it,
Dropped in a iota.
oh, I don't know, okay.
Okay, so there you go. So it's from Iro, so now let's deal with it.
And then we said it's subjunctive, and then we just said it's not. Others raise upright. Okay. Yeah. Next one will be raised or taken away.
Taken away, yeah, okay, now let's see if we can grab a parsing on this here. We know it's subjunctive. We know the stem is different, so what are you thinking it's gonna be?
Something.
Alright, well, wouldn't have to be second aorist, but
Just
aorist.
aorist, okay.
If you see a subjunctive, in all likelihood, you're either gonna have a present or an aorist. If it's different than the present principal part, then it's probably not present, although it could be, and it's possible, but it's unlikely, highly unlikely. So probably an aorist, and we don't have a theta for subjunctive, or passive subjunctive, so it's probably an aorist, active subjunctive, and so that fits the ending, O, ace, A, so third singular from I row, I lift up, take away, so take away in this.
Third person singular.
Yeah. Now, let's check ourselves with the Pope and make sure it's aorist. Are we right if there is? Gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry. For, Iro?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we don't want to get overconfident. It is the Word of God, and you have to be careful, right? All right, very good.
So in order that sin might be taken away, and sin is not in him.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. All right, Pastor Joe, number 6.
Everyone who abides in him does not sin. Everyone who sins has not seen him, nor does not know him, has not known him.
Okay, very
Those are
good.
perfect.
All right. Very well done. You got the present of hamartane there, and you got the perfect of heoraken from harao, and that was good. You got the perfect of egnoken from, you translated that, but you knew that was right.
Yeah, those are perfect.
Right,
That's
right.
what I said.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Let's start over again, and well, we could get volunteers. Who wants to do number 7? Okay.
Children, I am not deceiving you. The one.
All right. Now let's park there for a moment, shall we? Little children, May days. Now we know that is from what? I mean, how would you? There are 3 words stuck together there. What are they?
May,
May, des,
haste.
haste. All right, so May days or days. Now, if we had days, what kind of verb would we be expecting?
Indicative.
Indicative. If we have May days, what kind of verb would we expect? Not indicative. I see. I got you so trained so well on the subjunctive thing that
Yeah.
it could be subjunctive, but it could be also what? Imperative. All right. So we're not going to have an indicative verb. So May days means what?
No one?
No one. Okay, so little children, no one. Now, we gotta deal with planato. First of all, it helps so much to know what the vocabulary form is. What's the vocabulary form? The vocabulary word?
Tao? Is it one of those?
See, that's how we have to know the vocabulary. What is it?
Planato.
Planao. That's right. Alpha contract verb. Okay. So we have contraction happening here. We're contracted. I think an epsilon and an alpha contracted because if an epsilon and an alpha contract, you yield an alpha.
Oh,
Epsilon
is
almost
strong.
Yeah, epsilon is the weakest.
Yeah.
Epsilon, an alpha is a stronger one. Not as strong as an omega.
Yeah, because that's the strongest.
It's strong. So planao, what's our ending here then? Eto.
Yeah.
Now, how does that ring a bell? What endings does that ring a bell for you?
Imperative.
No.
Negative.
Amen, u, eta, amatha, esta, anta. So remember, amen, u, eta. This is a eto. Right? So it's not that.
I thought it was like
No, it's not that.
Imperative, third singular.
Okay. Endings are et, eto, ete, etos. No reason to think that this is aorist. We don't have stem change or aorist signal or anything like that. So we're going to call that present. That's what it is. The present active imperative, third singular from planato. All right, now take another stab at that.
So children.
Yeah, see now it gets tough because we don't have, we don't have a third person really imperative in English. So
Don't
we
let
gotta-
him deceive you.
Huh?
Don't let him deceive you. Or
Yes, that's right, but
Let no one see.
that's it, yes, maybe it is. Children, let no one deceive you. All right? And so now he's going to tell you something that's true and shouldn't be deceived about. Go ahead.
Okay. If the one doing righteousness is righteous, even as that one is righteous.
Yeah, so you can almost hear somebody say, well, I'm righteous, I just, what I do isn't righteous. I'm righteous, but I don't always, you can't look at my actions and see that I'm righteous, but I'm righteous. I'm a righteous dude. Right? Righteousness is connected to actions here. Now, I'm not saying that the Bible is saying that righteousness is only always about actions, because it's not, is it? Right? But you can't have someone acting unrighteously and claiming not to be unrighteous. You can't have someone acting unrighteously and claiming to be righteous in that regard, right? I mean, you can imagine some sort of error that people could be promulgated that would say, well, I might have shoplifted, but not in my heart. So it really wasn't a sin, it really wasn't wrong. Or,
narcissism.
yeah, right. Even though I shoplifted and I might go to jail for it, God's not concerned because in my heart, He knows what my attitude was, right? God knows my heart. So even though I might have done this thing that people think is wrong, right? So John's kind of nipping that in the bud here. The one doing righteousness is righteous, just as that one is righteous. So Jesus was righteous and He acted righteously. So if we say there's no sin in Him, this doesn't mean He had a good attitude all the time. It means He never committed an act of sin. Right? All right, who wants to tackle verse 8? Go for it.
All those, or all who are doing,
What version do you have?
verse 8,
Yeah.
my own those doing sin,
Now we got a singular there.
oh, the one doing sin.
You're getting some good help there, stick with it.
It is. The one doing sin.
Okay, wait a minute.
Uh-oh,
Let's see, you're on page 536, right?
yes.
Okay. I shouldn't heckle you because then you get all nervous and not be able to do it. Dikaiosune.
What's that? No, it's.
You're
Your
lying
girl,
about
Now, am I the wrong one? Oh, sorry. I'm on page 536.
Sure, you're
That's
heckling
funny.
and lying about.
Oh, I skipped up a line because the participle was there. It's the same thing, only, okay. My bad.
That's funny.
Okay.
Because that would be so easy to do.
I have bad eyes, what's your excuse? Okay, go ahead. See, now I look at that, I just,
The one,
I heckled him and harassed him and I was wrong.
is it the one doing sin?
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna sleep tonight because of that, because I made you.
Is from the devil?
That's right.
Okay. Because from beginning, the devil sinned, or no, sins,
Yeah.
is sinning.
Yeah, and in Greek you don't need a the with beginning, because how many of them are there? There's one, so it's definite. But in English, you're going to want to have a the because there's only one and it's definite. Right? So the article is just odd from language to language. Did we talk about that? In how in England you don't go to the hospital, you go to hospital. Over here you go to the hospital.
We ran into that with Harry Potter recently.
Well, yeah, you would.
At a hospital.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the British shows on PBS, you get all these Britishisms, and that's one of the things you see is the different use of the article. Even within English, which is kind of interesting. So you see that, from language to language, there just isn't a consistency in how the article is used. But so in English, we want to throw it at the beginning. But yeah, you're doing fine. Is sinning from the beginning? Yeah, good.
Ice is not into or to.
Mm-hmm.
This, the Son of God, he was revealed.
Yeah, into this, or that's a way of saying for this reason. All right, the Son of God.
Okay. In order that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Yes. Isn't it exciting to see that word luo? It just doesn't
Yeah.
happen that much in the New Testament, but here it is.
I'm glad it doesn't appear on the line above it. That would throw me way off.
Oh, man, it's so easy to make a fool of oneself, isn't it? All right, very nice translation. Who wants to do verse 9?
I'll do that.
All right.
Oh, you're one to do it. That's okay. Okay. The one, everyone who is born out of God does not do sin, because his seed abides in him, and he is not able to sin because he is not able to do sin. No, I'm sorry, I'm messing up my lines too. He is not able to sin because he is born out of God.
Okay. Very nice. Now, you said everyone who is born of God, and we could let you get away with that.
Because you're still born out of God.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you've been born, you're still born, but not still born, but you're
Right,
born.
you continue to be.
And I'm assuming you know that's a perfect tense there.
Right.
Yeah, you're good. It's just, you translate it as if we're emphasizing the result of the perfect verb instead of the most basic way of translating it perfect, which is perfectly fine because it does. With this, in this context, it's perfectly fine to do that. All right. Who wants to take a stab at verse 10?
Stab it.
All right, stab it.
Okay, and this is revealed.
But actually, this is not a verb, is it?
Oh.
But it's okay, it means the same thing.
Was it like?
It's a cognate noun of the verb. Look at your little note down there, number 7 at the
I
bottom.
don't have a spiffy Bible.
Oh, you got
I have
you got the real
I have the
one.
real Bible.
Okay, good.
All right, that's not.
Okay, well, that's a noun or adjective really meaning visible or clear or plain. Here it's used substantively, so it's used like a noun. But
Oh, like this is how the
Well-
children of God are revealed.
yeah, except without the how.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I guess if you want to translate "NT5222" as how, you could do that. Yeah, I guess you could translate that. That would sell in the bookstore, I think. That would be.
Well, we want to know what it really is, though.
That's not a bad translation. But in this, by this.
Oh, okay.
But we're just not getting the core sentence here, are we? What's the subject?
Children.
The children.
The children. So, the children are revealed in this. Or the children of God are revealed in.
Yes, that's exactly right. Now, if the children is plural and the estin is singular, what?
Oh. The child of God.
No, the children are plural. And estin is singular. Why?
Neuter plural subjects take
Oh.
verbs.
That's right. Neuter plural subjects can take their verb in the singular. That's right. All right, so go ahead. You got that? That's good. And?
And the children of the devil. Oh, okay. So, is that saying like, in this, the children of God and the children of the devil are revealed?
Yep. Here it is. Here's how.
All who are not doing righteousness are not of God, and all who are not loving the brothers.
Well, yeah, except we need to make it singular. Everyone
Everyone who
not doing righteousness is not of God,
not
and everyone not loving.
his brother.
Wow, okay, very good. We should talk about this paragraph as well. It's kind of an interesting paragraph. We've had this discussion a little bit, we see some certainly fellowship issues here with the word remain and meno, but I think we also see some issues that go beyond fellowship here. I think we just saw it in verse 10. By this is revealed, by this are revealed the children of God and the children of the devil. It's showing you a difference between the saved and the unsaved there. Now, is it possible for a saved person to act like an unsaved person? Absolutely.
Sure.
But when they're acting like an unsaved person, they're doing just like that. They're acting in a way that's characteristic of an unsaved person. And so that's why if a saved person is spending a lot of time acting like an unsaved person, that's probably going to do damage to their assurance. And it probably ought to do damage to their assurance. Not their security. Remember, security is a work of God. God does it. And so once you're saved, God's going to keep you secure. But our assurance is the feeling of, yes, I really am saved. Yes, I do have saving faith. And we certainly can have that assurance, can't we? But I think John is arguing that our assurance comes from various things. And on one level, we would say that our assurance of salvation comes with our fellowship with Christ. When we're in fellowship with God, when we're in fellowship, some of the terms of 1 John, then that gives us assurance. Well, when we are in fellowship with God, when we are walking in the light, what does that do? That necessarily affects our behavior, right? So our behavior is an indication of fellowship. Okay? remember he says you can't say you're righteous and not do righteousness, right? So our behavior is an indication of fellowship. And the only way you can be in fellowship is what? Be saved, right? You can't be in fellowship if you're not saved. So behavior is an indicator of fellowship, and fellowship is an indicator of salvation, I would say. And I think that's what's happening in 1 John. For example, in verse 6, it's kind of interesting. Everyone remaining in him does not sin. Now that's a fellowship issue right there, isn't it? If you are abiding, remaining in Christ, then you are not going to be sinning. But then he says, now everyone sinning has not seen him, neither has he known him. Now that's a little tough, isn't it? John, I think, is using language meant to get attention. He's using language meant to shake up the reader, right? But that doesn't mean that he's not speaking truth. He is speaking truth. What he's saying is absolutely true. But he's speaking in a way to shake the reader up, I think, in some sense. And you might almost say that he is almost promoting doubt for the readers in their salvation. Because he's telling them things like, everyone sinning has not seen him, neither does he know him. Now, that gives me pause to think, right? Because I sinned. Now, is there an inconsistency between knowing God and sinning? Yes. And no, right? It's inconsistent because fundamentally it is inconsistent, but it's not inconsistent because even though I know God, my redemption isn't finished, right? So because of that fact, it kind of explains it. But here it says, everyone sinning has not, in perfect tense, right? Has not seen God, has not known God. I would say, has not come to know God. But I don't want to beg the question by proving my argument by my translation. You know what it means to beg the question? When I assume the answer in the way I set things up. If I say, obviously John is saying this because he's saying this. I've got to show that John is saying this before I can come to this conclusion, right? So I don't want to beg the question here. So how would you deal with this? Everyone sinning has not seen him or has not known him.
Is this the same type of seed that he just talked about? Because it just said that we haven't seen him, but when we do see him, we will be like him.
Well, that's a pretty good question. I think that it's not, because he juxtaposes it to knowing him. And even though we have not seen, I have not physically seen Jesus, we do know him.
Isn't that that knowing, isn't that a personal fellowship knowing?
Well, it's gnosko, yeah, so it's an experiential knowledge, if anything, yeah.
But we don't know him like we're going to see him.
Well, we don't know him like we're going to know him. And we don't see him like we're going to see him. But we see God in Christ. We can see Christ. We can see Christ in other Christians. And I think John's going to argue that later on as well. So I think that's a very astute question. It is the same word, isn't it? The see word. But I think the context is different.
But how do we know? That's what, I was really struggling with that verse too, because, I don't know, I just,
How do you know?
that the context has changed. Like, and I don't think it is a future thing. I don't know,
Oh, up
like,
here?
it's only in a future thing in the sense that we haven't yet realized in our life, but that it's not necessarily eschatological.
Well, no, but here it is. I mean, you really have to pay attention to clues in the text to be directed by this. In verse 2 it says, "Beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet appeared what we shall be."
Or it has not yet been made manifest what we shall be.
Well, in any case, you got a not yet and the future what we shall be.
Right,
However you translate phanerao,
right.
you still have a discussion of something future.
Well, of course, but that's what I'm saying is like the way I was looking at this, and this is just a possibility. I haven't.
Well, throw it out. It's all right.
I just I'm
It's all about exegesis, and you can learn Greek and not be able to exegete. So this is partly why we're doing this, right?
Because the way that I understand the Christian life is that as by faith we allow Christ to live His life in us, we automatically do righteousness and cannot sin at the same time.
As well.
Okay,
At the
as
same
we
time as-
are allowing Christ to live His life through us.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is also the way I read First John, and most of John's writings. That's a heavy emphasis that he has. And when I look here in verse 2, it seems to me that he is making an emphasis on the fact that we have not yet come to a full realization of Christ's life perfectly being made manifest in us,
Right.
and that he's saying we are children of God. He's saying we are children of God. He's not denying that fact, but what we shall be, meaning what it should be,
Yes, that's
but
true.
that it hasn't been actualized.
That's right. That's true. But I think what you're forgetting is, and this is easy to do because we focus so much on spiritual life and spiritual things, is that the ultimate completion of our being made like Christ
Will be in the future.
be not only in the future, but will be that we are literally physically in a resurrected body.
Right, and I understand that, but I think that he's like, I don't know necessarily that he's talking about that here.
Well, the completion of our salvation, the salvation of our soul, to be precise theologically,
Yeah, salvation of our soul.
our spirit is saved, in my way of looking at things. Our soul, our mind, our emotions, and our will are being redeemed. That's a big rod marker thing. I think he's right about this. And our body, it hasn't even started yet, thankfully. But it will be redeemed, right? Well, the finishing of the salvation of our soul is future, and in some at least loose sense coincides with the finishing of our physical redemption.
Right, and I'm not saying that he's not getting there, but or maybe that he's not even necessarily referring to that, but I think he's also talking about maybe.
Well, we make a mistake if we exclude what you're talking about, because he says the one who has this hope purifies himself just as he was pure. So we have to keep connected the whole idea of resurrection life. Now, if we get a little bit Pauline,
Right.
Paul talking about resurrection life and how we experience it now, but the ultimate experience of resurrection life is literally going to be physical resurrection.
Right, but John's talking about the experience of our born-again nature as well. Our born-again, resurrected spiritual life.
Yeah, I think so, but I think that he is here giving a focus on what we're going to be. I mean, the word to be made manifest. Now, it'd be interesting to do word studies on all of these things.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I could really until I've done like a really thorough word study on that one.
But I think he's using the word to be revealed, to be made manifest, and I can't speak with authority on this because I don't have the facts to mind. I think I have looked at this to some extent or noticed this in the past, but I really haven't done an intensive study on it, and I don't remember. But I think you will find that I almost hesitate to say it, let me just, very hesitant to say, I think you will find or associated with the second coming of Christ. And maybe because I'm thinking of this passage, but I think in other passages I think that's possible. Maybe you can do something quick on your computer and find that. But I think by his use of that term, I think that draws us into the physical. It seems to me. But he also talks about, we will be like him when he appears. So
Or when he is manifested
yeah, but
in us.
well, yeah, but this is future though. See, that's the whole thing. But the manifestation is future. If he's talking about a manifestation in us that happens today,
Or that is not happening yet, but that should be happening, and that will be happening if we.
I think he would argue that every Christian makes Christ manifest, if I can use that term.
But that's a theological understanding, and I mean.
Yeah, but later on, he argues that we need to love our brother, because I think